The 5 greatest watches of all time are... What are we talking about today? 5 watches I would love to own. And by the way, who came up with this obscure number of 5? Why is it always a top 5 or a top 10? Why can't it be a top 6?
High 5. Close your pen.
High 5. High 6. Okay, alright, calm down. Top 5 it is.
Conversations, talking to myself like, why you waiting? I don't pay no mind what they be saying, cause I want greatness.
Hi guys, it's your boy Rich here, back at it again. And most of the watches that made my list are pretty expensive, but there are a couple of them in there that are moderately priced. So let's start with number 5. And that's the Rolex Daytona. And I promise you, this has absolutely nothing to do with that whole Newman's Daytona sold at auction.
It is history now! 15,500,000!
Pinky swear, promise. And at about $80,000, I like the platinum version with that ice blue dial and that dark brown insert. That color combination really strikes it for me. And I chose platinum over the ever rose gold or the white gold or the yellow gold because it can pass for steel. And unless you're a precious metals expert, you're not. It's very hard to distinguish the look of platinum and white gold from steel. So it makes it less gaudy to me, and I would probably feel less paranoid about wearing an $80,000 watch. And as far as I'm aware, Rolex doesn't use the ice blue dial for any other watch except for this platinum version of the Daytona. And at 40 millimeters, this watch really stayed true to its size. The Daytona is the only watch that Rolex hasn't increased its size like the way they have with all their other sports watches. I mean, the Deep Sea is just a 43 millimeter version of the Submariner, and they've increased the Explorer and the Milgauss, even the Datejust. But the Daytona is the only watch that remained true to its 40 millimeter size. And I think the Daytona is one of Rolex's most versatile watches. It's one of the first watches I would buy if I had the means, if I won the lottery, or if I befriended Michael Jordan to the point where he might give me his platinum Daytona.
Jordan a drive. Hands. Yes!
Number 4 is Uworks 202 at around $250,000. But there's pretty good news. We can get one for only as little as $115,000. But this watch is really stunning to me. I can't get enough of this watch, at least looking at this watch. And I did handle this watch once, not that long ago, and I could tell that you can tell this is a very sharp looking watch. It's obviously futuristic, but it's not a plastic looking watch at all. When you handle it, you can feel how smooth it is, and it has so much substance to its weight that this is an expensive watch. Would I have guessed that it's, $250,000? No, probably not. But it is a really sharp looking watch. It comes in at about 43 millimeters, but it fits almost any wrist very nicely because of the design of its case. It doesn't wear large at all. And I like this version because it's black platinum, which is really rare. I mean, Uworks uses some... they're really doing some innovative things with their materials, and I can't think of off the top of my head other watches that use black platinum. Let's enjoy some pictures of this gorgeous watch. The moment that I start to feel less appreciative of this case design, I could always switch it up to one of my other watches and return back to this watch and fall in love with this watch all over again. And number 3 is Omega's Bullhead. Yep, Omega. See, I don't hate on Omega. I really like the Omega Bullhead, and this retails for about $9,600, but we can get one for about $5,500, $5,700, and the Bullhead is actually part of their Seamaster lineup, but it's sort of buried in Omega's website because it's not in the same category as the other Seamasters. It's under specialties watches, but I really like this Bullhead watch. I really like its unique design, and compared to the vintage version where it used to use a manual wind, the current version uses a coaxial movement, and they use a column wheel mechanism, and I'm a fan of their coaxial movement. This is about 42 millimeters, and it's just really sharp looking. The Bullhead also uses other color combinations, but I really like this light blue, white, and red combination. To me, this Bullhead is one of Omega's rare looking watches. I've handled and seen a lot of watches over the past few years, but I've never seen anyone own this watch. I've seen a lot more unique and rare watches on people's wrists, but I've never seen this watch in person, so I'm kind of surprised by that. To me, this watch is one watch that I would really like to own because it strikes a nice chord, a vintage looking watch with a modern movement. Number 2 is Glashütte's 60s square chronograph. I had to slow it down on this one because it's almost like a tongue twister for me. This comes in at about 42 millimeters and retails for about $9,700. And I'm going to talk about the price in a little bit. I'm a really big fan of Glashütte, and I really like this watch because I like its cushion-shaped design. This is a really great looking watch. And let me get back to the price now. Now, even though this retails for $9,700, we can get a brand new one for about $5,000. And I'm not talking on the gray market. I'm talking about at a boutique, an authorized dealer. And I know this because last year when I was looking for my next watch, which ended up to be my Grand Seiko SBGR097, the Glashütte was one of the watches I was looking at. And this, I could have gotten this for about $5,000. Do I have any regrets over choosing my Grand Seiko? No, but I would have liked to have had both watches because I still really like this watch, and for that price, it's really great. Now, I know it's right off the bat, it seems like we're taking a big hit at 50% off from an authorized dealer, but if we're not spending that much to begin with, we're really not going to take that great of a loss later if we ever decide to sell this watch. So that's really a non-issue. Going back to the watch itself, I really like the aesthetics of this watch, and I really like that name Glashütte. I don't have a German-made watch yet, and I would really love to have this watch one day. Some of you might remember when I actually handled one of Glashütte's watches. It was one of their Senator's watches at 39 millimeters, and I could tell the build quality was really at the highest level. And I've never seen anyone else make an alligator strap the way Glashütte does. Let's take a look. This is what I mean. This is really nice. This is a really nice strap.
It is. Alligator, blue alligator. Vintage style to match the watch.
That blue alligator strap still stays with me, especially with that whole build quality of Glashütte. So this is another reason why I'm a big fan of Glashütte, is because I've handled this watch in person. And finally, what's number 1? Number 1 would go to Patek's Nautilus, the 5712. Not a lot needs to be said about this watch, but this is my complete watch. In addition to it having the light blue dial, and there seems to be a pattern with me and the blue dials, it's also a Gerald Genta design. And some of us might be aware that Gerald Genta also designed the AP Royal Oak, some of the Omega Constellations, some of the Bulgaris, the IWC Ingenieur, and an earlier Patek from the 60s before the Nautilus. But I really like this Nautilus. To me, this Nautilus is a complete watch. It also has a power reserve and a moon phases, so I would definitely buy this watch if I could. And even though we just finished with the top 5, I thought we'd go further and have a special bonus round called Bracketology. And for those of us who aren't familiar with sports, bracketology is a college basketball sports term for the tournament or the playoffs, where the winners advance until there is one decisive winner. So let's have a battle royale between the moderately priced watches and the uber expensive watches. So between the Omega Bullhead and the Glashütte Square Chronograph, which one would I choose? The winner of this bracket goes to the Omega Bullhead. And now for the bracketology for the uber expensive watches. And right off the bat, the Platinum Daytona takes an early exit. See ya. So that leaves the battle royale between Patek Nautilus and Uwerks 202.
Give me your first answer, please, Rick.
And the winner takes all goes to the Patek Nautilus.
Final answer?
Final answer? No. I just felt like I needed to say it. The winner takes all, for me, goes to the Uwerks 202. This is just a gorgeous watch, and this is not a watch that I would get tired of anytime soon. And this is one of the most rarest and unique watches that I have ever seen. So, the Uwerks 202 is a winner takes all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you the next time. So let's be rebels. Screw the top 5, top 10, and let's do a top 6. How about Romain Jerome? Well, you know what? I'm not going to go into this that long because top 6 might be a little awkward. So anyway, specifically with the Romain Jerome, I like its moon dust. Although I think this watch is far overpriced. The prices have come down a lot. And in fact, this watch is actually headed in the direction of Franck Muller, which is lower and lower. So pretty soon, it might be a pretty good price for us to actually jump on this watch, because it's not a special watch in terms of its movement or anything, but I do really like the look, and I do like the idea of this moon watch. You know, this became an actual segment, but I'm going to end it here in terms of the Romain Jerome. So if you made it this far, let me know your thoughts on the Romain Jerome, specifically the moon dust. You works 9 to 5. No, it's You Works 202. I'm just kidding. You Works 9 to 5. There's a song in there. That Dolly Parton movie 9 to 5. See ya.